let's talk about the way forward really, and you were talking about differentiation and how that's really important as far as your business and of course every business is concerned. You know, you started with the luxury premium market and you've now gone to address the aspirations of middle income families in India, which is pretty much the road that most major real estate developers are taking. I remember a comment from Sanjay Chandra of Unitech, and he said, you know, I think most Indian real estate developers just overestimated the size of the premium segment, and now those corrections are beginning to happen. So what is it that you're going to actually contribute when you address this middle income, genre in India?
The Indian middle class, the great Indian middle class, has essentially been kept out of the housing market for the longest time. And if you look at affordability across the globe, it's 5x the annual income is what a man can, or what a household can generally afford to pay for a house. In India, given our demographics, and if you look at the key metros, that number comes between 10 and 50 lakhs. More than 50% of our population can afford homes between 10 and 50 lakhs.
And that's the price band that you're working with?
That's the price band that is what we call as affordable luxury. The product offering in that category is what we call as affordable luxury. However, we do need to remind that each Indian is highly aspirational. While one likes to hear of affordable housing, nobody wants to live in affordable housing. While one talks about mass housing, nobody wants to consider his house as being part of a mass development. What people are looking is for high quality housing, whether it's in within reach.
So not necessarily the cheapest.
Nobody wants the cheapest. A significant proportion of the people really want the best value.
Nano phenomena happening as far as the real estate business is concerned, or taking off as far as the real estate business
I firmly believe that if somebody can do a nano with BMW parts and offer it, great, right? But yes, the aspiration is to be in a BMW, and if not, then at least the Honda is needed. So that's the aspiration of every Indian, because the house is such an important part of our identity.
Okay, so this segment is contributing, I believe, about 15% to your revenues currently?
17 to 18%.
And you would like to see it, what, above 20% in the next few years?
It will hit a peak of 33% odd in 2012 as per our projections.
33%
and that's where we'll stay.
Coming back to capital, and you guys have been very, very lucky because you've been able to strike a whole host of private equity deals. Will that continue even post the IPO?
The answer that lies in where we are on the growth cycle. I think the capital which you're looking now at should not require us to be looking at raising quick capital anytime in the near future.
DB, there's been all sorts of speculation on where things currently stand between you and DB. Have most of the outstanding issues been sorted out? Because that's the sense that one gets, that in order for you to have filed your DRHP and actually go ahead as far as your IPO plans are concerned, those outstanding issues with DB have been sorted out. Is that true?
We absolutely have no differences with Deutsche Bank. They're one of our largest investors, and we enjoy a good relationship with them. There was an interim period where there were differences in some of the things which they've done and we've done, which happens with all long-term relationships, which are nothing which would affect our relationship on a long-term level. And whatever the differences were have been absolutely sorted out.
And rescheduling of repayments and all of that has been sorted out with them as well?
We haven't asked for any rescheduling, so there has been no rescheduling.
What's really the situation as far as your bid for Finlay is concerned? Because you've got a slight breather coming by way of the Delhi High Court saying that there is a stay on NTC actually inviting fresh bids at this point in time. How confident are you feeling?
Obviously, it is a matter before the judiciary, and out of deference, we won't want to comment on what the final outcome would be. We, however, feel that we have bid what is the single highest bid ever for land in Mumbai. In the 3 rounds of auction, when they said the reserve price is higher, we agreed to match it up. And we see no reason why we ought not to be given that property. And now it is, we moved before the Delhi High Court, and we hope for the judiciary to take our views into consideration.
We were talking about land acquisition plans largely in Mumbai. That's where you want to be. Hyderabad, you've got a luxury premium project. Anything else in specific that you're looking at in terms of where you'd like to acquire land?
No, I think we are focused on being focused. Mumbai, enters the largest spectrum. It's got a 10 lakh apartment where there's demand. It's got a 25 crore rupee apartment. There's demand. It's got demand everywhere in the middle. So I think we will continue to look only at Mumbai as our growth center in the near future. Of the next 5 years, we're pretty certain that 90% plus of the revenues will belong to Mumbai. Have
you seen prices move up? Because we did see an increase of between 5 to 10% early in the year.
It's gone back to the heady 2007 days, which is slightly scary.
Okay.
So unless
that's making you uncomfortable at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah? So what, about a 15% rise already?
Yeah, I think from the lows you've seen over a 15% rise, and we believe that needs to slow down significantly. I think long-term real estate prices have to move in tandem with notional income growth. which in India is about 15-18% annually, taking inflation and actual growth into account, and that is the sustainable level at which this economy can see sustained real estate growth.
Do you identify with some of the issues, for instance, that the BJP and that your father actually fight elections over?
We identified more as informed citizens of the country than as part of a family which has political legacy.
You know, you've got an interesting sort of family legacy in that sense, because your father continues to be actively involved in politics. Has that come in the way, or has that actually helped?
Having a legacy of public service in the family, my grandfather was Chief Justice of the Assam High Court and then Member of Parliament for 3 terms. Dad carried on the legacy. In terms of our business, it's neither a plus nor a minus. We are very proud of the fact that he is such a popular public representative, and at the same time he continues to guide the business with his large experience that he has.
Is that an option for either of you? I mean, do you even consider it, or is that a complete no?
I think our business takes up all our times right now.
But are you comfortable with the world of politics? And do you identify with some of the issues, for instance, that the BJP and that your father actually fight elections over?
I think we identified more as informed citizens of the country than as part of a family which has political legacy. Our discussions on the dining table don't necessarily center any more or any less around political issues than they would do in any normal family. I think we kept that.
So what do the discussions on the dinner table center around?
I think a lot of it is to do with the business.
Since the two of you are actually working together, how is it actually decided, who does what? How is the responsibility and the allocation split between the two of you?
We're very proud of the fact that, the professionals handle most of the aspects when it comes to the operations. Between me and him, we've identified the distinct departmental or the functional areas which each of us has a focus on, and we on a day-to-day basis focus on that. But all key decisions are made in an interactive fashion. Our board of directors comprised of 8 members, 4 promoters and 4 independent. So all key decisions are discussed at the board level, and we are all staying in the same house. Our cabins are right next to each other.
Does that get too much, the togetherness? Does it get too much at some point?
I think that's the the boon and the bane of the great Indian joint family.
What is the Lodha formula of keeping the great Indian family together? What to your mind as 2 young individuals who have aspirations, individual aspirations, and of course your own identities? How do you work this out together?
There we've been clear from the first day that it's Bhai's vision which drives the organization, and that's been the story for the last 5 or 6 years. I think the good thing is we've enjoyed a lot of success out of it. So it's a story we don't want to change.
So if you've done a bad job, it would be different, right?
As long as you share one common vision, and as long as you create an organization where you don't need to run to each other for every small thing, but major decisions automatically come together. And I think most importantly, the automation of a professional setup.
But you're very clear, he's your mentor.
Absolutely.
So, what more can we actually expect? Because if I look at your website, there's, you say that there's several firsts to your credit. The first automated integrated township, and the first by invitation project in Mumbai, and so on and so forth. So what more can we actually see, and what are you planning?
Each of our 1400 associates really sincerely believes that India and Indians deserve a lot better in how we spend our lives than what is today. And when we say that, it's not only about building the best house or the best office. Obviously we do that, and we take a lot of pride in doing that, and we have a huge and long way to go before I can say that the West learns from me. Today very clearly we learn from them, we adapt, but I think over time, given our our great heritage, the quality of our people, I think it will be a great day where 10 years hence we can say as a proud Indian company that today we are doing things which are world benchmarks, and that's really what drives us.
And it could be a defining year for you at Lodha with the IPO hitting the market.
The IPO is one part of it, but we believe it's a year of great opportunity because we're thankfully at the right place in the right time. The Indian economy is at a stage where the world looks at it in a fashion and sometimes envies it. And real estate historically is an industry with one of the highest betas with economic growth. So we believe we do it right, we do it well.
Well, Abhisheck, Abhinandan.